I did not think this was going to happen this quickly, at least. Xdefiant is officially shutting down. Here's a humongous tweet from Mark Rubin, basically announcing the departure of Xdefiant, and all of the staff, I believe, that worked on Xdefiant got laid off. About 177 employees in general got laid off. The studio behind Xdefiant shut down. UBISOFT shut it down. There's a lot of stuff to kind of talk over today. We're going to briefly just go over this entire tweet, and there was a rumor, I want to say about a month or two ago, that Xdefiant was going to shut down after Season 4, which was rebutted by Mark Rubin, who said they were actually working on Year 2 plans for the game. So this came out of nowhere. No forewarning, no nothing. So Xdefiant is officially shutting down. I'm unfortunately here today to announce that Xdefiant will be shutting down. Starting today, December 3rd, new downloads and player registrations will no longer be available. Wow, you can't even download the game anymore. Oh, I can't even make a video on it. Wow. That's actually crazy that they're taking away a free downloadable game for new accounts. Like, I know they won't be able to play for long, but that's actually insane. The servers are just going to die. You might as well let other people play while they can, right? Wow. We will still release our Season 3 content in the near future, exact date to be determined, and the servers will remain active until June 3rd. What's the point of even releasing the Season 3? What's even the point of keeping the servers active at that point? New people won't be able to download. Eventually, people are going to move on, and it's just going to die. This seems just so insane because the game hasn't even been out, what, more than 6 months? For those who purchase the Ultimate Founders Pack, you receive a full refund. Wow. Wow. Players who made any purchases within the last 30 days will also be fully refunded. Those refunds should happen automatically within 8 weeks of today, and you can find more details on our official website, which is Xdefiant.com. So, wait, if we click on this, does it take us anywhere? Oh, wow. It just straight up takes you to a, hey, we're shutting down page. And everything that you're getting refunds for. So basically, their goal was to try to embark on a new journey, removing skill-based matchmaking while bringing more of an old-school arcade shooter experience. But they were also diving into the high-risk, high-reward realm of free-to-play. And for that, I want to applaud not only the dev team, but also Ubisoft leadership for taking that chance, which, again, is commendable. I mean, doing free-to-play isn't easy in this market. Making a game free in general means you won't make nearly as much as you would have made on it if you sold a copy of the game. So it's amazing. It's great that they did not sell this game to people for this to happen. Now, there were a lot of issues apparently with player retention, player counts going down. I do know at the end of this tweet that there's a mention of about 14 million people played, or maybe it wasn't here, but it was on the Xdefiant official Twitter account. I think that's just insane, man. Let's keep reading on. Personal passion, all of that kind of stuff. Free-to-play in particular is a long journey. Many free-to-play games take a long time to find their footing and become profitable. It's a long journey that Ubisoft and the teams working on the games were prepared to make until very recently. So it sounds like Ubisoft just pulled the plug on it. It doesn't sound like it was obviously the dev teams that decided not to work on it anymore. Ubisoft let them plan content out, let them apparently plan up till June of next year for Season 3, and then they just pull the plug on it? What sense does that even make? That's crazy. I wonder how much was invested into this game to build it. That is definitely a question I would like an answer to personally. How much did they spend to build this for it to just shut down? We've seen games like Concord recently, which was a hot steaming pile of feces, get shut down after spending, what, like $400 million on its development? So how much did Xdefiant spend, I wonder? It's just crazy to me. They just never could get their core issues resolved. Private matches, which just came with a new update, are here, and now people can finally play tournaments, only to find out the game's dead. That's why I just think this decision makes no sense to me. We get the update that people have been looking for, private matches are here, people can start doing tournaments and stuff finally, and then a few days later, they're like, nope, never mind, just shut it down. And it just doesn't sound like they were even told ahead of time. They were just like, tell Mark it's over. Wow. Okay. Mark is, of course, heartbroken to write this. Yes, the game has been a personal passion for me for years. And yes, I know that not all challenges lead to victory. That's deep. But I also want to recognize all the developers who are being affected by this closure. Each and every one of them is a real person with a real life separate from our own. And they have all put so much of their own passion into making this game. And I hope that they can be proud of what they achieved. I know that I will always be proud and grateful to have worked with such a great team, a team that really punched above its weight class. I mean, the early response from players on Xdefiant launch was amazing. We broke internal records for the fastest game to surpass 5 million users, and in the end, we had over 50 million players play our game, which is pretty good, I guess. It's crazy that with the new Fortnite update, and I'm not trying to derail and say that this is within the same, like, we're not going there. It's just crazy to me how Fortnite just had a concurrent player count of 14 million. It's crazy what dev studios honestly have to compete with, and I do feel bad for a lot of these dev teams. I don't think Fortnite is a bad game. I don't think it's bad for the industry, but I do think it really set expectations for a lot of different genres. Now, I know Xdefiant is more of a Call of Duty competitor than it is like a Fortnite competitor, but we even see elements of Fortnite being thrown into elements of Call of Duty, their business model, their battle pass plans. Fortnite literally introduced the modern version of the battle pass, and every single game out there that's a multiplayer game, free to play or paid, has introduced some form of those battle passes. And it's just crazy to me how Fortnite, 7 years later, is still doing what it's doing. It's insane to me. I feel bad for a lot of these dev teams that are forced by a lot of their publishers to try and compete with something like Fortnite or Call of Duty even. These games with very long-lasting legacies now, especially Call of Duty, and being told we want to match that energy. We want to try to do what they're doing. And I think competition is healthy, but I cannot imagine the amount of pressure, stress that a lot of these dev teams have to experience, and then just to have it yanked away when you finally, I think, start catching some strides in what you're doing. They could never really figure out the hit reg problem. I think private matches not being on launch was a colossal mistake because you couldn't get into tournaments. Lots of people wanted to do tournaments, and you just could not do them because private matches weren't available. You could only lobby hop and ranked play. I don't know, man. So much just did not fall in this game's like favor. It was released at a really awkward time. It should have released, I think, when MW3 was kind of in a weird spot, or before MW3 even launched, but even then it probably wasn't complete. And then it launched only a couple of months away from Black Ops 6, and we all know people were excited for Black Ops 6. It's a really good game for the most part, some issues here and there. I just don't think the game really had a good spot to ever really drop it. It had one opportunity last year, I think, when we were it was either last year or the year before when we had MW2, and that game was a hot, stinking mess. Wow. I don't know, man. This is honestly really depressing to read. Yeah, it's good to be proud of 15 million players playing your game. I think that's actually really impressive for a game like Xdefiant that just was really fighting in an area, like Mark said earlier, above its weight class. This entire dev team, this game was fighting well above its weight class, and it was still trying its damnedest. The creator program is also really nice. They gave me a lot of cool free stuff that I used in some videos here and there. I do wish I made more content in this game. I will not deny that. I do think that the only thing that's really worthy of grinding in this game, being just camos that you have to level up 500 times, was a bit of a hit or miss. There wasn't really much to really grind in the game, in my opinion. Obviously, COD has like score streaks, nukes, all of that. Fortnite, I don't really know what you want to grind in Fortnite, but I probably shouldn't compare a BR to an arena shooter. Halo, there's always stuff to kind of grind for in Halo, armor pieces, whatever is in the battle pass, I guess. And Xdefiant, again, had a battle pass, so there was stuff to grind for in there. But other than that, the core gameplay was nice. Then they nerfed a bunch of stuff a lot of people didn't like. Movement got destroyed, and a lot of people weren't happy about that. And I think that just kind of put a bad taste in people's mouths, because the entire point of the game was supposed to be movement-based or focused. That was one of its strong points anyway, and then they nerfed a lot of that, and it just kind of, I don't know, it just fell apart really. A lot of people were roasting it on social media. There was that one Dashy tweet to Aches where he said, if you pay me a bag, I'll play your dead game, or something crazy that he said. It was outrageous, actually. Wow. So what else we got here? I mean, if there's one thing I hope we can all take away from this experience, it's the importance of open, honest communication between developers and players. I agree with that. If there was one thing Mark Rubin and Aches and most of the Xdefiant team were good at, it was open and honest communication. They constantly told us what changes were being made and why. They gave us in-depth descriptions, things we've never seen in the gaming industry before. on why certain decisions were being made. And it's just such a shame we only get this level of open and honest communication with either indie teams or games that are basically on the deathbed as soon as they launch. It's just so sad, really, man. I wish we could get that same level of communication in other gaming industries and genres and from other publishers, but we just do not get that. And it's just such a shame thing, really, man. I don't know what other words to really use for it. Man, this player first mentality, along with respectful, non-toxic conversations between developers and players, has been one of the standout differences that made Xdefiant so special. I completely agree with that. For my very first post about Xdefiant, this was the vision I wanted to champion, and I hope it leaves a positive mark on how the game industry treats its players and communities. We really need some more positive interactions between devs and players, not just exclusively from the devs, but the players too. Some of you are actual psychopaths that go out of their way to basically make it seem like you hate these people more than life itself. I've heard of the stories of people wishing people to kill themselves because of decisions they've made in a game that people play. It's outrageous, man. Everybody needs to just chill and learn how to talk to each other. Dev teams and whatever probably won't do that. Most dev teams anyway, because of money related reasons. Publishers control the majority of that. In most cases, it reminds me of how Infinity Ward said competitive ruin Call of Duty, and they wanted to keep red dots off of the minimap so you don't get punished for shooting your gun. That was open and honest communication. It was just stupid ass open and honest communication, but I digress. To our players, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to express my deepest gratitude for the incredible community that has grown around Xdefiant. Your passion, creativity, and dedication have inspired us every step of the way with the utmost of love and respect, Mark. The community part, this whole thing is a little ironic to me in a way, and I don't mean that in an assaulting way, Mark. I promise you I don't mean that if you happen to watch this. It just feels like the game didn't even get a chance. It didn't get a chance to develop a community. It had multiple betas that kind of developed the community for it. Then when the game officially launches, you still didn't really have the ability to build that said community because we didn't have private matches to do fun things in. There wasn't really a real in-game community, at least in my opinion. I never heard people talking in mics. I never heard actual conversations in the game. I never heard people interacting with each other. And if that's one thing that is crucial to most arena shooter FPS games, communication between players, hearing people laugh in lobbies, talk trash, insult one another, that's all a part of the process, which is why I'm not a big fan of the AI monitoring system currently in Call of Duty. It's destroying the community. It's ruining what built Call of Duty. Trash talk, hatred, laughs, silly moments. Now you can get banned for saying a swear word in a game where you literally murder people for fun. I don't really understand that, but YouTube, don't demonetize this video, please. Yeah, this is really unfortunate. Lots of reactions to this. Now, the only thing I do not like about some of these reactions is how people are insulting the team. Like, told you so, it was going to die. Haha. This game's dead. It deserved it. We don't got to do that, man. People clearly like this game. It's unfortunate that it got put into this position where all of this just kind of fell apart. I just don't think insulting the dev team, especially considering that lots of people apparently got laid off, and we'll find some tweets on that in a second. That's not the way to go about this. Who do I have muted? Yeah, like stuff like this. We won't be shutting down after season 4, guys. LOL, come on, man. Come on, man. Even these COD killer remarks, the game literally had never said it was going to be a COD killer. That was a community-driven thing. It's supposed to be a competitor, but I just, man, I don't know. There was so much that just did not go right with this. So we've got a big set of posts here. I mean, it basically restating the same thing. The main Twitter account released some stuff. We've even got Culture Crave tweeting about this, which is crazy. Here it is right here from Charlie Intel. Shout out Charlie Intel for all of the, good news that he puts out and retweets. Ubisoft is laying off 177 people as part of shutting down Xdefiant, including closing 2 studios. Ubisoft, I assume San Francisco, and Ubisoft Osaka both closed. Sydney team ramping down, up to 177 people laid off. Half of the Xdefiant team moving to other projects. Ubisoft that hoped the game would compete with Call of Duty, but recently was denying shutdown rumors amid declining playing numbers. Numbers ruined gaming. I think numbers ruined gaming. I think that was one of the biggest things about this modern era of gaming that has ruined it. Everybody's obsessed with, is a game popular on Twitch? Does it have 10 million people? Does it have the same level of popularity as like Fortnite or COD? And we get these statistics, and people will look at these statistics and use it as a reason to ever To never touch a game again, to destroy that game's reputation, trash talk it. That's the kind of stuff that I just don't like. It's the same in the music industry. People will see sales of an album and credit the quality of the album to the number of copies that it sold, which is almost never the case. It just isn't how that actually works. I never had a problem finding a lobby in Xdefiant. I never had a problem finding a squad to play with in Xdefiant. I never had a problem filling lobbies to play against people in Xdefiant. Those numbers, in my opinion, just ruined everything, because now it hasn't been about passion for a long time in the gaming industry, but now it really isn't. It's all about player retention, numbers, view count. It's just like how it is with content creation in YouTube. People don't do things out of passion anymore. Studios, creators, there are a lot of people out there that don't do these things out of passion. They do these things based off of the numbers and the money. And that's obviously an important thing if you're a studio or a creator that's full-time. I fully understand that. I'm not saying like you shouldn't do that. I get it. I'm just saying it's a lot more common practice now than a lot of people realize. And it's sad. I didn't want to see this game shut down. I haven't made a video on it in a while because I've been busy with a lot of other content across other games, and I'm a creator. I have to jump between things to get content out. I love Call of Duty. I'm going to make Black Ops 6 content, especially with the camo grind, the Mass Prestige grind, all of that. That does not mean I didn't want to play this game again at some point in the future. I wanted to. I just have my priorities. I do things one month, I do something different the next month. That's just how it goes. Yeah, this is heartbreaking, man. This is honestly really, really sad. The cuts are expected to be closer to 277. Whoa. That just gave me chills. That's insane. 277 people are getting laid off? This was a really depressing video I had to make, and I'm sorry I even had to make something on this. Well, rest in peace, Xdefiant, man. I mean, I had a lot of fun on the times I did play it. I had a lot of fun, and a little bit of rank play that I played. I enjoyed the pubs that I played with a lot of homies. All of that, man. It just sucks seeing this happen. I really did wish it didn't have to be this way. Truly. It's rough. It's rough. I knew a lot of people that were interested in making like podcasting content around the game, leagues, but we never got private matches in time, so all of that eventually just died and fell apart. There were lots of different competitive scenes trying to develop because of this game, and I hate seeing this happen in the gaming industry. This happens so much. Big publishers close down, smaller studios repeat. We see it with EA, we've seen it with other companies. I don't know, I just really wish this didn't have to be the result. It sucks.